Hotepsin Wenasenut Itiren Ishakandugu Kemet. The title of this video is Reggie is an embarrassment to scholars but a hero to pseudos. We have 6 people watching at the moment and it has just started. Now, it's important for the young generation to know that this dude, Reggie, is not someone that is logical. It's not someone that is making sense, and it's not someone that you should spend your time listening to because he's a fence rider who doesn't stand for anything at all. He doesn't have anything on his own. He's thoughting on many different channels wherever he can find an audience and a platform to spill his hate towards community people because he's extremely bitter and jealous, particularly at Jabari. Now, he knows that his vocal game is whack. He has stated it many times that allegedly he's better at writing than speaking, but uh, he doesn't have much writing. He has apparently one journal article, and apparently it is published on Jai Hisa's journal, and Jai Hisa is known for having produced some pseudo work, and their group effort of the University Amen, the University of Amen is no longer online. Dr. Jai Hisa also has no problem associating himself with a plagiarizer, which in academia is a no-no. I have a comment here. Hey, I'm Hotep Jason. How you doing? So we have 9 people online right now. Now, if Butler Reggie wants to get on like he has before, the link is there. But I don't expect him to come in. He likes to deal with the neophytes mainly, so he can feel important. So, as a matter of fact, it's a good opportunity to state that indeed that dude Reggie came on my platform several times, and we spoke, and he's a walking contradiction. He doesn't stand for anything, and he's not comedic. For those who wonder, you know, and he has stated it himself. I might have the clip somewhere. Um, but one thing for sure, it's 20 seconds long. You can hear that the dude is pseudo. Reggie is pseudo. Listen up.
Yeah. I mean, his pharaoh could have been a Greek, but I don't.
Well, I
Why
tell
does
you
he
what,
matter?
Heru was Greek.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because one of the stories of Heru being conceived is during the Greek time period.
So you heard the butler Reggie stating publicly, not privately, publicly that Heru is Greek. That makes him pseudo by default. Now he can recant on that statement, but he doesn't. He acts like a savage, like a barbarian savage when you bring it up. And he's trying to flip the script on you, acting like you're wrong or you took him out of context. If anybody feels like he was taken out of context, then let him play himself in context. Now, if you want to hear, it's only 20 seconds as well. If you want to hear that dude Reggie say that he's not comedic, I have the evidence as well.
All right, Reggie, are you comedic?
No, I'm a descendant of West Africa, and I study ancient Egyptian culture. And
You got it, Reggie. You already nailed it, Reggie. You already answered. You got it.
So I am not a member of a cult called the Comedics.
He's not a member of the cult called the Comedics. And I saw that he was on Sinetta's platform. And at one point, I heard him using the term blackologist, slow life butler, the chief of the Riparian Knights. used that term as well. Reggie is the same guy who went on talking about, I don't want to hear what the European has to say. He was on heard saying, "Oh, this guy is quoting Europeans as if scholarship has a." This dude is just so all over the place. Now, the young ones, that's what I'm more interested in because we have some grown men who are lame as heck. That's why you have those teams of grown men who are nothing but cheerleaders. When you bring up the fact that we have some plagiarists, some people who plagiarize, they make excuses for it. They want to turn plagiarizing into making mistakes. Plagiarizing is not making a mistake. We have an ecosystem of grown lames, but young people think that these old dudes have knowledge because of their age, and it's not the case. And that's why, for the most part, they are not running anything at all, and they need to gather like Power Rangers to feel like they have a little bit of power or influence. Now, just for the record, listen to this butler, Reggie.
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Comedics. I bang against them and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
As a matter of fact, I think the first time he came on my platform is a video that was probably entitled "Brother Reggie is banging on Kemetic people." And when he came on my platform, the energy was totally different than what you just heard. But that's how it feels. That's how it really feels. So when people show you how they are, believe them. That's his sentiment. And even there, he's doing it with restraint. If you could really go all the way, like the savage barbarian that he really is. And when you heard him say that he's very passive aggressive, he said that several times. He means that. He's gonna try to act like an elder because he has been around a few. But there's a difference between being older and being an elder. For those who don't understand, we can expand on that if you want. Being older doesn't mean being wiser. One of his number one claim to fame is to mention the scholars that he has been close to that doesn't have any bearing whatsoever with the validity of his claims. And he has been pseudo. And like I said before, all the scholars that he names, you don't even see them around him. When's the last time you have seen them around him? And feel free to ask those scholars how they feel about Reggie banging on Kemetic people. In that video that I have not watched in full because I scrolled through it, he mentioned Reggie who's been teaching Medu Nature for years. And he said, whatever, and I'm paraphrasing, whatever her personal beliefs are, I respect that woman. That statement alone shows you that Reggie is a hooker. Because and he's so disingenuous as well. Because when I had him on my platform asking, but isn't Reggie a Kemetic priest? I'm sorry, a Kemetic priestess? And he was like, I don't know. He knows her well. He knows her very well. When he came back again, and I pulled up the evidence, and then he was buck dancing like a cheerleader. Dr. Victoria Amen is a Kemetic priestess. Ahmed Nature. Butler Reggie is not criticizing her. Brother Jabari is a Kemetic priest. Ham nature. And Reggie, Butler Reggie, has been criticizing Jabari for years. That's a clear example of Reggie being an inconsistent, mentally unstable butler. It's as if you have for people to just to have a clear example. It's like you have a female pastor and you respect that female pastor and you beat up that female pastor, and then you have a male pastor and you bang on the male pastor. Maybe Reggie is a feminist. Hold on, there's some comments here. Now, Jason wrote doing OM, and he said just left his life a while ago. Then here he wrote, but he doesn't talk about Jabari's wife. Um, Reggie is trying to appeal to females. He's trying to act like he cares about females, but he doesn't give a damn about females because um Molana Karenga, the founder of the plagiarized Jewish holiday Hanukkah that he labeled Kwanzaa, Molana Karenga has tortured black women. That's what he went to jail for. If Reggie cared about black women, he wouldn't be big enough Karenga the way he's been doing, even on my platform. Punk Butler Reggie prefers to defend Karenga who tortured black women rather than showing support to or let's say rather than not disrespecting Jabari. Jabari hasn't tortured black women. And I have played several times Dale Jones, who has stated publicly, not privately, publicly, that the women who were tortured by Karenga had objects inserted in their vaginas. That's called rape. Legally. But let's just stick to the torturing of black women. And at one point, the punk Butler Reggie even started talking about some female priestess or some female from Kemet and try to throw shade, acting like people don't want to put women forth and so on. Jabari's wife plays a part in their organization. So almost all the talking points that Butler Reggie has are mute, and he only works with the lame people who just hate Kemet, who just dislike Kemet, and they have the right to dislike Kemet, you know. But they only sound good amongst themselves. Furthermore, if you look at the hold on, yeah, he said that women weren't scribes or had any status. Well, had any status. What about Hatshepsut? She was the ruler of the land. But I'm going to show you something, brothers and sisters. Hmm. Okay, never mind. So, where is it? There it is. Is it large enough? Yes, it is large enough. The Bible, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. As in all the congregations of the saints, women should remain silent in the churches. They are not allowed to speak, but must be in submission, as the law says. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home. For it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 to 14. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression. So I can start there. Do we hear the punk butler Reggie running around on a crusade dealing with Christianity and Christians regarding the position of the females? No, he's just trying to appeal to females. He's trying to use any talking points in order to go against Jabari and Kemetic people at large. He will make an exception for Rigetti Amen and Mfudishi because he knows that they will slice their behind, they will slice his behind up if it was necessary. He knows he cannot mess with them, just like with many other people. You know. Now he has labeled one of the greatest plagiarizer of the so-called conscious community as being courageous. That's how much of an inconsistent fool that Butler Reggie is. We have the so-called conscious community of scholars. That guy would talk, say all these names of people that he's been close to, and he has the nerve publicly to label someone that stole some other people's work as being courageous. I mean, that's the insanity of the so-called conscious community, man. How in the heck you're gonna label somebody that steals people's work as being courageous? And the funny thing is that even that guy that he was trying to cop please with, that guy blasted him. Remember that Butler was talking to Walter Williams and proposed to have a debate, 3 against 1. The Butler with 2 other people against one 90-year-old dude. That's how lame he is. He's an embarrassment. When I heard that, I was so embarrassed. Now, now, for those who don't know, Walter Williams claims that the Meta has not been ciphered, but he has a voice on, those platform. I don't know how to label those platforms. Everybody's free to do what they want on their own platform. But for the life of me, I don't think anybody can explain how someone will be a member of a Kemetic shrine and allow someone to come on his platform and say that the Meta has not been deciphered. I mean, that kills the purpose. That just really kills. And not only that, but agreeing with the guy. And one of the other 2 guys that he proposed team up with him so they can have the trio against the 90-year-old Walter Williams has blasted him as well. Reggie is a reject. Reggie doesn't stand for anything. Somebody can tell me what he stands for, or just ask him what he stands for. He doesn't stand for anything at all. He is pseudo. I have demonstrated that. He's defending pseudos. This has been matter of public record for years, and he is defending thieves or plagiarizers as well. He was Jason wrote he was trying to attack Baba Heru as well because he was saying something from the Beret M Heru translated by Budge. I did see the part where he played Baba Heru and he played it like maybe 5 times, but then I didn't listen to what he had to say because a long time ago he spoke about Baba Heru Baba Heru has responded to him and other people as well. Then Reggie was acting like a punk hooker. Oh, they say that I am unclean. Oh my God. Just like with Jabari. Jabari at one point said he's been calling him brother. He doesn't think he will call him brother anymore. And I'm sure some of you heard. I heard several times Reggie say, "Ah, I'm not his brother." He said, "I'm not his brother," like he's offended. And he's been banging on the dude for like maybe 3 years now. I've been saying 2 years. It's probably been 3 years now. And that's 3 years publicly. Because as Jabari has stated, this has been going on like him, throwing salt on Jabari's game. It's been for the longest. Sadly, it's just out of jealousy. He's jealous. When he talks about the scholars that he used to be close to, he likes to say, "And those guys were not there. So what? Jabari did his thing. Reggie didn't do jack. And that's about it." Even people who will talk about, the street life. Some will say, "I'm an OG. I've been there from day one." They've been there and they did things. Not have a dude to say, "Oh, I was living there. I was close to them and I've seen it all from my window. So I'm an OG." No, you witnessed. So Baba Heru has been doing his thing. I don't know Baba Heru. I've never spoken to him. But he stands for something. He stands for something. What does Reggie stand for? Christians stand for something. Muslims stand for something. Jews/Hebrews or lights, black or white, they stand for something. Well, you wouldn't have black Hebrews or lights, but I'm sorry, you wouldn't have, well, anyway, um, black Jews, black Jewish people, white Jews, white Jewish people. You don't really have Caucasian labeling themselves Hebrews or lights, So they stand for something, whether you agree with it or not. But we have a punk butler who doesn't stand for anything at all, who's spending his time throwing salt on the game of Kemetic people. And Dr. Ben was pushing for Kemet. That's undeniable. But then punk butler Reggie is trying to act like, oh, but there's public teachings and private teachings. Man, get the heck out of here with your whackness. Whatever's private, then deal with it privately. We deal with the information and teachings. Dr. Ben pushed for Kemet. So while Reggie's trying to act like a student of Dr. Ben and spending all his time dissing Kemetic people, like people like the saying, Dr. Ben must be turning in his grave. Dr. Ben must be turning in his grave. Saying Punk Butler Reggie using his name to give himself some legitimacy to a dude who in 30 years doesn't even have a platform, doesn't even have a blog, doesn't have a book, and have the nerve to act like he's relevant in some kind of way. And he's not representing anything. Now, you must have seen his PowerPoint slides. You seen the design? Exactly the same as with the opening statement of Garfield's upcoming debate. That's another thing where he was busted. And he's a liar. He is a liar. Because he said he's not helping Garfield. Garfield also that punk liar who allegedly has a bachelor's in history that nobody has seen. And how many dollars did he charge? Let me tell you, hold on. It's important for you to see that. I mean, Reggie is a pseudo butler defending thieves, plagiarists, defending frauds. Because Garfield is another fraud as well. Now, the amount is so large. No, that's Shorts live. $1,800 to show his degree. I have the receipts. Garfield sent an invoice for $1,800 to show his fake degree. Chris MVP Harris stated publicly that Garfield doesn't have a degree. If he had one, he would have shown it by now. Reggie is cool with that. Reggie has the nerve to criticize Jabari for being a comedic priest, but he's cool with a straight up liar. Isn't that an embarrassment? Some of your own folks might think, okay, this is a large platform. That guy's probably legit. He's not legit. He's a punk butler. He's a fool. He is a liar. He is a fraud. He is pseudo. Some things have to be said. You have some people who are cool with the butler Reggie because they feel sorry because he's old. But that's where it ends. That's where it ends. He is a savage barbarian. He is a walking contradiction. No scholars mess with him. You don't see those scholars with him. And if they are with him, it will be for a few seconds and they will bounce if they hear him speak his speech, which is straight up nonsense. Now, Jason wrote, bullcrap attracts a lot of flies. Yes, indeed. So he can try to attack Babaheru all he wants. I've played the audio already. I have receipts, like people say. I have the evidence. Reggie has stated publicly that Heru is Greek. He has not recanted. So back to the PowerPoint. He's the one helping Garfield. And it's not even the first time because Garfield has shown that before. He has shown the slide. And if I remember correctly, the first slide said, Jabari must die, something to that effect. Garfield himself said, it was Reggie who was helping me. And you could see the notes. Okay, here say this, here talk about this. You know? So when he was busted, because what happened is that, and I have the video, I've played already. He wanted to share some slide. And by mistake, he actually showed the slides for the debate. And instead of owning up to it, the dude was pissed off, angry, and he's putting his projecting his hate when he's just busted. I mean, if you busted publicly, why you want to go crazy? Just own up to it because it's a matter of public record and keep it pushing. So he lied and Garfield lied. Both of them lied. Then unfortunately, some people are trying to, smoothen things out because they also have some issues with Jabari. Acting like, oh, it's just, me helping you out, blah, blah, blah. It's my friend helping me out. The dude is preparing his slide. It's more than just helping out. It's more than just giving information. When you prepare the actual slides that will be presented publicly, it's not just, hey, here's a link, here's a book. It's just serious. And it's a matter of public record that Reggie has been giving information to the Hebrew camp when they were about to go against Kemetic people. I mean, that dude, he's been a fraud for the longest, man. So once again, we have some young people who might feel like, okay, he might have some legitimacy. I hear him saying all these names. It doesn't make any difference. In 30 years, the dude doesn't even have a platform. And challenge him to do a live stream on his own channel. You will see how many people is there. No books, no blogs, no website. I mean, the dude is a walking embarrassment. And at one point, when as I scrolled through the video, he talked about he was working on the database for ASCII. So whether it was a Excel sheet or some other thing, I mean, there it is. Basically, he had the list of people. When he uses the term database, you have to take that with caution. Because I don't think I don't know if he's familiar with MySQL and all these things, but he basically had a list of people. He was just a butler, a secretariat. You know, if he doesn't, if anybody doesn't like the term butler, secretary. You know, that's his biggest claim to fame. When did pseudo become cool? When did being pseudo become cool? Can somebody tell me? I mean, it's been a while now. It's been a few months that we have people who lie publicly and they are defended. We have this ecosystem of pseudos, man. And people making excuses for pseudos. Like it's cool. Like people cannot change their stance. Like people cannot change their mind. So now Punk Butler Reggie is using the term blackologist. He wouldn't have said that about Dr. Ben or Dr. Clark. He's using terms. He's using terms. Even people rejecting are using those terms. But whatever he can use to go against Kemetic people, he will do it. Now we have the Nation of Islam because he once spoke about Malcolm X. The Nation of Islam, we know it's a matter of public record that members of the Nation of Islam have killed Malcolm X. But he's bootlegging the Nation of Islam. Jabari didn't kill anybody. I'm not aware of any of Jabari's members killing somebody and Jabari defending them. And besides, they teach that we are disfigured. I've played Farrakhan's excerpt many times. He doesn't have a problem with that. That's another example to show you how much of a lame the Punk Butler Reggie is. He won't have any criticism for that, let alone their theology that they try to pass off as history. I mean, it's just really an embarrassment, man. So it's very important for me, and it would be good if others did it, but hey, nobody's perfect. It's very important for me to let the young brothers and sisters know that Reggie is not Kemetic, that Reggie is a fraud, that Reggie is pseudo, and that whatever he takes should be taken with great caution because he's a liar and he's disingenuous. What he is doing is motivated by hate and jealousy. You need to understand that he's trying to act like he's being fair. You cannot be fair when you're defending liars and pseudos, and you are pseudo yourself. You cannot make excuses for people who teach that we are marked and disfigured because we rebelled against God, and that's why we have that physical appearance. And then you're going to go and diss Jabari. Diss Jabari for what? Did Jabari teach that we are disfigured and marked because we rebelled against God? So he's going to talk about all the elders. And Malcolm X is, of course, one of the most revered black men on the planet. Who's going to argue that? One of the most revered black men on the planet. And he's going to be a hooker. I'm talking about Reggie, going to be a hooker for the same organization that killed Malcolm X. I'm not expecting anybody to go to war with any organization whatsoever. But you don't have any business dissing Jabari when you are defending someone who tortured black women and some organization that is responsible for the death of Malcolm X. And that is also teaching that we are marked and disfigured. I mean, that's his CV so far. And it looks bad. It looks very bad. This hooker ass monkey prefers to defend someone who tortured black women because he wrote a nice book. I mean, that's just crazy, man. That's just crazy. I want the young brothers and sisters to know that somebody got to do it. Somebody got to say it. And I'm saying it. And it's a good thing I'm saying it while he's alive, because once people are dead, they are almost deified. You cannot say anything. Though Dr. Ben said, well, if the guy, he said that on tape. Dr. Ben said, if the guy was a bastard when he was alive, then he's a bastard when he's dead. I'm sorry for Reggie's family members. I'm very sorry. But some things have to be said. You have seen your family member for years being a butler, hater, and you couldn't stop him. And it's difficult to stop the dude when he is the head of the household, or the eldest dude around from the family, or one of the eldest. It's difficult. I understand, but at some point, I'm just sorry. I'm just sorry. He has family members. I'm sorry about the family members, but something has to be said. I can't just sit down and allow somebody that defends someone that tortured a black woman and possibly raped them or had people raping them, but at the same time dissing another dude just because he's Kemetic, and then ending up dissing Kemetic people at large, as if Kemetic people are a danger to the community. But the organization who pulled the trigger and killed black men, not only Malcolm X, but the Hanafi murders, men, women, and children have been shot at and killed. Babies drowned. But he's cool with that. He's making excuses for that. But it's as if Jabari is the greatest danger ever that we had in the conscious community. And Sanetta, he's decided to let Reggie. I mean, even Sanetta, to his credit, Sanetta said many times that Reggie was being a hater. And sometimes, and greetings to you, Amun Min Rasud Atum. Sometimes being responsible means that you have to make some choices that might be a bit uncomfortable. I have childhood friends. You best believe I'm not going to let my childhood friend come on my platform and be on some nonsense. That's responsibility, See, this path, brothers and sisters, is not about making people happy. This path is about being factual. It's about being consistent. It's about making sense. It's not, oh, he's my friend. He's a lame, but I leave him on because he's my friend, even though he's lame. We're not going to get anywhere with that. So for those who are interested, you can go on my platform and go through the videos, and you will see the different exchanges that I had with Reggie. And he is an embarrassment. It's just a shame. It's just a shame. And he knows that Abrahamic believers in general don't like him. For Abrahamic believers, Pharaoh is probably the next bad thing or the next worst thing after Satan. Just because of their writing alone, the Abrahamic believers in general don't like him. And some people say, well, I like him, I love him. Wesley Muhammad said he loves Kemet, but listen to what he said about it.
It will be. It will be in full. Wrote Kemet if you want to get authentic
come on, go ahead.
About blacks conquering blacks. Throw Maya in the trash can. Throw Amin Ra, the slave making God away.
And guess what? Punk Butler Reggie has even defended Wesley Muhammad. Not only about his fictional his finished fictional black prophet Muhammad and black Arabs of the 7th century, whose arguments is mainly linguistic acrobatics. But publicly, Butler Reggie, has spoken in favor of Wesley Muhammad and Wesley Muhammad's work. Once he has expressed disagreement when it comes to the Bacta Treaty. That was on my platform. But besides that, he's been bootlicking Wesley Muhammad as well. I'm not expecting him to go to war with anybody. But you heard the statement from someone who claimed that he loves Kemet. Brothers and sisters, don't be gullible. Don't feel like, okay, I'm part of the conscious community, so I have to get along with all these people, regardless of what they say, regardless of how they disrespect Kemet. Because those uh, Black Hebrew Israelites, they will not be cool with you if you disrespect their philosophy the way Western Muhammad did. Same with the Black Christians, same with the Black um, uh, um, Muslims. It's only Kemetic people, unfortunately, who are gullible and who feel like the punk butler Reggie has some sort of validity or legitimacy, and they ended up being, hook alike. If you stand for something and that person disrespect what you stand for, I'm not saying go to war with the person, but how are you going to be cool with that person? Jason wrote, "Throw Wesley in the garbage can." Man, what was that? Well, that's Dr. Wesley Muhammad, who said, throw Kemet in the garbage can, throw Ma'at in the trash can, throw Ahmed Radislev making God away during a lecture. And as people can see, it was a public lecture. Guess who put Wesley Muhammad in front of the community, in front of the conscious community? Sinetta. Sinetta is not responsible for what Wesley Muhammad has said. But I'm just saying, I never knew about Wesley Muhammad until Sinetta brought him up. Brought him up. So it's extremely important for people to understand that Punk, Punk Butler Reggie is a lame, is a fraud, a liar, a bootlicker. He has no backbone. He doesn't stand for anything at all. He's a fence rider. He's jumping ship like it's a national sport. He's all over the place. He's an embarrassment. He's a fool. And he has a little bit of knowledge. Yes, it's true. But that's not enough. Because damn near everybody on this planet knows a little something about a thing or two. The only thing that helps Reggie is that he is accepted on some platforms and some of them larger than others. And really, I think the only large platform where you can hear Butler Reggie is on Saneta's platform. Sometimes he goes on other platforms and people make fun of him, but he still goes there because he's happy to have a platform where he can spill his hate towards Jabari and Kemetic people at large. And the fact that Reggie has stated several times that he's better at writing than speaking, you can see the frustration. Reggie wishes that he could be well spoken, but he's struggling verbally. He's really struggling verbally. So he's comfortable with neophytes because he feels like he has the upper hand. And sometimes like that. Now, I know I was gonna say the dude's name, but we had a dude who used to, push for Kemet. He had a very large following. Then he was supposed to debate Wesley Muhammad, and he embarrassed the community. People don't pay him no mind anymore. Sometimes it's hype. Sometimes it's just hype. You know. But Reggie is not Kemetic. As much as he can talk about Kemet, he's not Kemetic. So you can just contact any self-respected scholar and ask him, how do you feel about plagiarizing? Do you defend plagiarizers? The butler does, just as much as he respects somebody that tortured a black woman. just as much as he respects and defends uh, organization that is responsible for killing Malcolm X and other black men and babies. I mean, how low can you be? How low of a human being can you be to defend people who torture black women, who kill men and children, but you're going to spend 3 years straight dissing Jabari and Kemetic people because you have a hard time being articulate? And you don't have a blog, you don't have a website, you don't have a platform of your own where you can live stream, and you have to be a butler and thought everywhere. That's his fault. That's on him. He can start this platform today. He can start live streaming on his own channel today. He can do that, but he won't because he knows he's not going to go anywhere. So he has to use other people's energy. Fine. But that's the verdict. That's the verdict. Those Abrahamic believers, of course, they're going to like when he's going to go against Kemetic people. But ask them, do they want Butler Reggie on their team? As long as it's for Reggie to diss Kemetic people, they'll be like, kind of associates for a minute. But who wants Reggie on their team? Do you think the black Hebrew Israelites want Reggie on their team? Do you think that the black Christians want Reggie on their team? Do you think that the black Muslims want Reggie on their team? What is Reggie part of? He talks about ASCAC. He used to be part of ASCAC. Is he part of ASCAC now? Is he presenting at ASCAC? He has presented for like maybe 10 minutes, dealing with some Riparian nonsense. And that's about it. I'm telling you, these scholars, they don't even want to be seen with Reggie. When's the last time you seen some of these scholars with Reggie? They don't give him the time of the day. They know it's an embarrassment to be associated with Reggie. So Butler Reggie spends his time. I wasn't Dr. Bang. I wasn't Dr. Clark. I wasn't. That's all he's been doing, and that's all he will keep on doing until he makes his transition. That's his highest claim to fame. I carried their suitcases. I gave them tea and coffee. I went errands for them. And it is cool to have known those people, but that doesn't make one a scholar. And when he's dissing Kemetic people as he does, he's betraying those people that he was acquainted with. Because if you listen closely, the majority of the people that he names, they were dealing with Kemet. Just listen to the dude himself. Just listen to the dude himself. Those people, for the most part, were pushing Kemet. And Reggie is dissing Kemetic people. Like the punk butler, bootlicker he is. He's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment. And for the life of me, I'm so sad when I see some straight up people being cool with that punk butler Reggie. I mean, where do we draw the line? How much do we have to hear? How much do we have to see? How long does he have to go for? See, years back, I never knew Reggie would be the one banging and Kemetic people the way he does. I think it's the number one guy banging against Kemetic people. If you have tried, some got a reality check, some were on the ropes. They're like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave it there because I don't want to look bad forever. But Reggie is hating with a passion. With a passion. People don't have to love Kemet. People don't have to like Kemet. But if you run around saying publicly that Heru is Greek and you don't even recant, you pseudo. You're a fraud. But being pseudo and a fraud and a liar is cool with the so-called conscious community. In which other community do you have people saying publicly that they have a bachelor's in history and they'd never shown it? And then they say, "Oh, I was given a couple of $1 million by a family member." Those people just lie like they breathe, man, and nobody's checking them. See what I'm telling you about this ecosystem of falsehood, this ecosystem of Isafet? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Those guys just lie. They are so comfortable lying because they know they're dealing with people who will not call them out on their lies. That's not cool. That's not fly, man. And we're not talking about minor lies. We're talking about major lies. Some of you might not know. Listen to this.
So, but why is the Hebrew? I don't talk about the NOI, but I talk about the Black Hebrew Israelites because, all right, my mom is a history teacher.
Okay.
I love history. I have a bachelor's degree in history.
Okay.
So history.
Oh, you heard it. I have a bachelor's degree in history. Ask him to show you. Amumin wrote Isfet. Bachelor's degree in history. He's so comfortable lying on air. And then he's going to charge people $1,800 to show his degree. His transformer degree with different names, different titles. And Reggie is cool with that with that liar. Jason wrote, he also claims that the Greeks took over Kemet and the priests gave it to them. I mean, listen, Reggie is a punk butler, is a low life idiot. For those who don't know, Reggie has congratulated someone who said that the ancient Egyptians were white from pre-dynastic time until today. That also shows you how pseudo he is. So he allegedly said that people gave Kemet to the Greek priests. I mean, punk butler Reggie, he's bootlicking about everybody on the planet out of hate for Jabari. Can you imagine if some people invade his territory and say, "Check your behind right now, butler"? What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to fight? So people invaded Kemet. Now, and with his punk self, the butler Reggie is acting like, "Oh, they gave Kemet to the Greeks." How ridiculous does that sound? And Paul Butler Reggie is the same one who said that the Kemetic kings who built the pyramids were crazy. He said that on my own platform. You heard about the 7 wonders of the world, brothers and sisters. The Great Pyramids of the Giza Plateau, oldest wonders of the world, and if I'm not mistaken, the only wonders of the world still standing to this day. Then we have something that's like the new wonders of the world. So something that is considered a wonder of the world, Paul Butler Reggie labels the kings crazy for having built those structures. And Jason added, and I thought about it. No, I thought about that. It was still after at least 100 years of Persian occupation. Well, it's very good that you mentioned that, brother Jason, because before the Greeks took over Kemet, indeed, we had the Persian invasion or occupation. But Reggie will try to use any argument to sound good because he's on a pathway, he's on a path, he's on a mission to just de-Kemet and Kemetic people. It's just all over the place. It doesn't even make much sense. It's just really greatly unstable. And I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it. I've given many arguments. I've shown proofs. Same guy who said Heru is Greek. How much sense does that make for somebody to say that Heru is Greek? Saying Heru is Greek is like saying uh, um, um, Julius Caesar is American. It's like saying Gandhi is European. And it's pseudo as heck. You will hardly hear more pseudo stuff. And it doesn't even have the integrity of saying, well, I was wrong about that. Real recognize real. Lanes recognize lanes. And in this so-called conscious community, we have a lot of lanes, man. Now that's why for the most part they are anonymous and unidentified. And you notice nobody's is coming here. Whether it's the butler Reggie or his groupies. You notice not here. They will go on the female cat Garfield platform where they can be happy as a bunch of lames. They are lame as heck, I'm telling you, man. And I don't mean to brag. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound condescending, but you know, I've given those lames the work for years, and I can do that. You know, I don't have to prepare anything. I don't have to prepare any slides. I can do it just right now on the fly. You know, I don't screen the calls, and they know I don't screen the calls. You remember Butler? What's his name? Uh, Sean, Batty Sean, a riparian. He tried to open his mouth. I haven't heard him since. He disappeared from the conscious community now. You know, some people think it's sweet, and unfortunately, some of them have an elitist mindset, and they feel like, you know, if the dude is not American, if the dude is not African American, then you know, automatically they feel like they are superior to that dude. You know, with me, they were sadly mistaken. I've given people the work. Wesley Muhammad, you know, with what he said, I gave him the work until he challenged me publicly to a debate, and then he backed down and ran like the coward he is, man. I don't mean to brag, but this is fact. I'm stating historical facts right there. They know better. They know better. But they want to act up. They want to act cute. Those lames, I've been giving them the work, man. They know they cannot mess around. They love neophytes, so they can sound good. They can sound like have some sort of authority. The nerve for people to say that someone like a liar and a punk like Garfield is an expert studying and in his own book cover, in the back cover of the book, he stated himself that he's been studying biblical history for the last 30 years. So the dude started studying biblical history when he was 9 years old. How ridiculous does that sound? How ridiculous does that sound? And this ecosystem of lames, some of them like to say that the dude is an expert of the Bible. I mean, just it's just crazy, man. But hey, to each his own, man. You know, if that's how it feels, to go ahead. You know, but that's where the riparian has be. That's the crew. That's the team. As a matter of fact, to take it further, that punk female cat Garfield stated that the riparian, the plagiarist, is his master teacher. So you know, and I've always been amused at that. To have a thief, a liar, a plagiarizer as a master teacher. Those listen, brothers and sisters, those guys are lame as heck. And I said it. And go tell them. And they know I said it. It's not the first time I said it. I've said it before. They're so live and thorough on their own platform with their groupies and their lames. You hear them. They're so comfortable. How come they don't holler at me then? Oh, they might want to act like I'm not relevant. Fine. It's okay. But that's an excuse. That's an excuse. They are not thorough. They are lame. They are ridiculous. They are punks. They don't make much sense. I'm telling you, real recognize real, man. Some of them have friends within the conscious community, and because you know they are friends, you know, some people don't really want to diss them like that. They want to be cool, you know. But you know, hey, regardless if people are my friends, if they are wrong and they are spinning falsehood, I might be more diplomatic, but I will let them know that I'm not in agreement with the falsehood. But those guys, man, it's not just one mistake here and there. It's just consistently. Butler Reggie is talking about he was with Dr. Ben. He was a student of Dr. Ben. Did Dr. Ben push for Christianity? So what the heck is Reggie doing with a Christian apologist called Garfield Reed? Well, one of his names, because obviously he has several identities. And for those who don't know, when Garfield came on my platform, he talked about, oh, this is my username. He just made it clear that the dude goes with different identities, acting like he doesn't want people to know his middle name. I don't know what kind of fraud he did, but the dude is just a public figure with his own platform, and he's speaking publicly. He's been doing so for years. He's been doing credit repair for years, and he has released a book. He advertised his book, but he doesn't want people to know his middle name. I mean, how ridiculous does that sound? Jason wrote the fact that his basis is on Jabari's conversion, like it's something was a thing I saw. I did not really understand that sentence, but young brothers and sisters, I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to let you know that not only Reggie is pseudo and a fraud and a liar, but he's cool with other frauds and other pseudos and other liars. So if there is danger within the so-called conscious community or for black people at large, it is not Jabari. Reggie is way more dangerous. I mean, Reggie hates Jabari so much that he's going to congratulate people for saying that the ancient Egyptians were white from pre-dynastic time. And then he's going to have the nerve to talk about Dr. Ben. If Dr. Ben wouldn't have slapped Reggie for hearing that, he would have said, man, get your punk ass out of here, man. Don't want to see your hooker butt anymore. Can you imagine Dr. Ben being alive hearing Reggie congratulating someone saying that the ancient Egyptians were white from pre-dynastic time until today? Can you imagine the reaction of Dr. Ben? I have the audio. I have the video, as a matter of fact. And Reggie didn't do that like weeks after. He did that within seconds. Seconds after the dude said the ancient Egyptians were white from pre-dynastic time, Reggie congratulated him. I mean, like, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy, man. No wonder all these scholars that he names don't associate themselves with him. Just ridiculous, man. Blackologist. The nerves. The nerves. Is Punk Butler Reggie gonna call the ASCAC members blackologist? The ASCAC logo, what's the color of the man and the woman? Isn't it black? I mean, those guys, man, they're just such. Embarrassment, man. I think is the single word that describes Reggie the best. He's an embarrassment, man. Jason, well, I'm sorry, I was saying that Reggie attacks Jabari because he converted from his Catholicism every time. Like it is a bad thing. Was the first thing that made me see him different as a person. Reggie is not attacking Butler. Reggie is not attacking Jabari because Jabari converted from Catholicism. Reggie has stated many times that when he used to be with Dr. Clark, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Yosef Ben Yochanan, and others, he didn't see some of those people who have shrines today. Basically, he's just saying that when he was with Dr. Ben, he didn't see Jabari, which lets people know that he's very butthurt that Jabari has his organization and that organization is thriving, while Butler Reggie doesn't have Jack of his own. He's thoughting on several different channels, even when people make fun of him. Reggie is simply jealous at Jabari. It's that simple because Reggie doesn't have anything of his own. Like I said, not a book, not a blog, not a platform. He just has a YouTube account. He's not even live streaming on his own account. And furthermore, Senator called Reggie a B, the B word. And Punk Butler Reggie did not object. So even as a man, he is questionable. Even as a man, he is questionable. So if anybody wants to go and follow a liar, a pseudo, hey, knock yourself out. But then don't try to holler at me like you're making sense. Because if somebody wants to come here and tell me that being pseudo is cool, hey, be my guest. But the situation is critical. That's the conscious community. Brothers and sisters, being pseudo is conscious. Jason wrote, okay, but this new information is still sad about who he supports. He will support anybody that goes against Jabari. We can just sum it up like that. So that's a conscious community. That's being conscious. Being a fraud, being a liar, being a pseudo. Running around saying Heru is Greek. The nerves. The nerves. And still to this day, the dude did not even recant. Did not even backtrack. Did not even say for the record, okay, I said that Heru is Greek. I was wrong about that. The ego is crazy. He's saying nonsense. He doesn't even have the integrity of correcting his nonsense. And he has the nerve to want to, correct other people. I haven't heard Baba Heru saying that Heru is Greek. And if I hear him say that, and I will respectfully disagree. Reggie has no business trying to correct people when he won't even correct himself. He won't even clean his own eye. He won't even remove whatever is stuck in the corner of his eye. That's one of the most pseudo stuff I ever heard. And I've been around for close to 2 decades now. Heru is Greek. The nerves. The nerves. So young brothers and sisters, I want you to understand that. He's going to keep on naming the people that he was close to. But he is a pseudo lying embarrassment who doesn't have anything of his own except a YouTube username without even his own picture on it. He's not deep. He has a little bit of knowledge indeed, but he's not deep. He's a generalist. He's a generalist, if you will. That's what he is. A generalist, enthusiast. And for those who think that he has a doctorate degree, he doesn't, because some people call him Dr. Reggie. He doesn't call himself that, though. I'm not saying he did. He doesn't call himself that. But some people might be misled into thinking that he has some doctorate degree. Just like with Walter Williams, Some people say Dr. Walter Williams. I'm not aware of him having any doctorate degree. If he does have one, then please let me know from which university, and please let me know what the field was. But the degree that Reggie has doesn't have anything to do with history, doesn't have anything to do with religion. And he said it himself several times. You know, he was dealing with how does he call it? Like, oh, I forgot the term. There's the word card in that term. Forgot the previous word. It's something to do with computing. You know, uh, well, it's like, it's okay. It's okay. But he doesn't have any credentials in the field of history or in the field of religion. So don't be misled. He's a generalist enthusiast who has no backbone, who is a walking contradiction, who's defending people who mistreated black women, and he's going to have the nerve to try to act like he's talking in favor of women, which is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Don't be misled, young brothers and sisters, when you see those platforms that have a lot of people there, a lot of people in attendance. In life, you have to stand for something. The Jehovah's Witness, they stand for something. They go to people and they talk about what they believe in, what they stand for. Once again, same for the Muslims, same for the Christians, same for the Jewish people. They stand for something. Most of these so-called conscious community, they don't stand for anything. And Reggie, for one, doesn't stand for anything at all. He's all over the place. You have to be aware of that, because guess what? He keeps saying he's been doing this for 30 years. And that's why I nicknamed him Butler. What does he have to show for? How come he's going to keep on talking about he's been doing this for 30 years, and the dude is in here talking about here's my cash app? He doesn't even give any classes. And he's going to criticize Jabari because Jabari apparently, allegedly charges too much for his trip to Kemet. And you have people in the community that charge way more than Jabari, but Reggie won't say anything. That's just ridiculous. Those are just ridiculous talking points, man. Only the lanes will fall for these kind of ridiculous talking points. So after 30 years of being a butler, the dude doesn't have anything. No organization, no blog, no website, no platform where he is live streaming, no platform of his own. So if you want to be like Reggie, hey, listen to him and follow him. 30 years later, you will be talking on several people's channels. And you will tell people, here's my cash app. After 30 years. Hey, you have the blueprint for lameness. You can follow it. But your family members, your children, for those who have some, they will look at you like an embarrassment. Like, they'll be like, damn, man. They'll be thinking to themselves, damn, Dad, you lame. You've been lame for 30 years. What are you going to teach me? Has to be said. Has to be said. Those people act like they're the man on their pseudo punk platforms with thieves, plagiarists, pseudos. It's easy. But they buckle under the pressure. They buckle under the pressure. They are lame. And I've seen so many lames. Over the years, I've seen so many lames. I'm telling you, man. It's nothing new to me. And when you're seasoned, you recognize lames early. The chief of the riparian, I knew he was a lame, and many people have vouched for that back in 2010/2011. Some people just like a few months ago have realized that the dude is just a great lame. I'm telling you, we have an ecosystem of falsehood. We have an ecosystem of Isifet, man. The dude is talking all that talk about doing this for 30 years, 3 decades. And when he speaks to a 90-year-old man who claims that the mental nature has not been deciphered, he's proposing to debate 3 against 1. That shows you alone how much of a lame the dude is. So you studied for 30 years and you need 2 other people to go against one person alone? That shows you how much of a lame he is, man. It's embarrassing, man. So after 30 years, you need 2 other people? You want to be like that, brothers and sisters? I mean, do you want to grow up to be just like him? You have the right to be lame, brothers and sisters. If you want to grow up to be just like a punk butler who needs 2 other people to debate one guy, let me know, brothers and sisters. That's what's cool in the street now. Which streets is it cool in? Go ahead. If you want to take that dude serious, you can be just like him. A 30-year-old butler, not the age, but someone who's been a butler for 30 years, who's going to need 2 other people to debate against one person. My, oh my. No wonder Punk Garfield needs his help. Garfield won't do jack by himself. Garfield needs somebody to prepare the slide for him and help him about what to say. That's how much of a lame he is. I'm telling you. Oh my. I mean, how ridiculous can it be? How many scholars have you ever heard say, okay, what I propose is we debate on that topic, and I get so and so, and we all 3 debate against you? Have you ever heard that in any field whatsoever, any area, any topic, any subject? Have you? I have never heard that in my life. How many scholars have you ever heard saying that? The dude is so lame, he needs 2 other guys to debate against one person. And his only luck, quote unquote luck, is that he happens to be familiar with someone who owns a large platform. So he goes over there and speak his nonsense. And because the platform is large, there's interaction, and he feels some kind of way like he's teaching or something, but he's teaching pseudoism, or he's teaching pseudo stuff. Now, every now and then, he might say some accurate stuff. Everybody can say something accurate, but that's not impressive. That's not impressive at all. We have a so-called conscious community where people speak nonsense all the time, and maybe once or twice they might say something that's accurate, and we'll have, oh, he made a good point here. We are the cheerleaders. It's really critical. It is really critical. Remember, there are some people, I'm going to chill. So I don't want to sound like, I'm, shooting bullets at everybody. Falsehood is falsehood, man. Whether it comes from white people or black people, it's falsehood. We don't need to push falsehood. We don't need to defend falsehood. We don't need to make excuses for falsehood. We don't need to. Do we? But we have some grown men cheerleaders in our side, man. I understand somebody's young. Somebody's in his teens, early 20s, and he's cheerleading a little bit, He's not really mature yet. At one point you're mature, but hey, that's nonsense, man. I don't go with that. I don't roll for that, man. The situation is really critical, man. Really critical. Now, how many of you believe, and I'm talking about, people from the conscious community. How many people from the conscious community believe that the ancient Egyptians were white from pre-dynastic time until today? Are you going to congratulate someone that states that makes that statement, that makes that claim? That's the conscious community. Heru is Greek. That's the conscious community. All right. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. It was said for the record. Oh, Falsehood is falsehood, man. But it comes from a butler or from a scholar. Falsehood is falsehood. You know. What is the saying? Birds of a feather flock together. Oh, brother, yeah. Stay safe, stay healthy. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I to do an Ichiru? Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.